Hi there, and welcome to the return season of Divorce Goals, Episode 1. I'm Kristine, your host. In this episode, we're going to have a quick introduction, and then we're jumping right into some advice I recently discovered and applied to my own family. And now I'm going to share it with you, because that's what we do here at Divorce Goals. It's a place where we share life-tested or divorce-tested advice, strategies, and support. When it comes to divorce, at least in my experience over the years, it seems like the people who are often the most eager to share unsolicited advice are those whose divorces were, in their opinion, unfair. Has this happened to you yet? You bump into someone at the store, maybe a parent from your children's class, and they give you that knowing glance. Then they come up, say, "I heard about you," and insert your ex's name here. And suddenly, you're trapped in a conversation you didn't ask for. They launch into advice that starts with, "Be careful," or "Make sure you don't," followed by a story about their sister's, cousin's, boyfriend's divorce disaster. When they finally wrap up their unsolicited greatest hits of worst-case divorce advice they can give, they give you an awkward hug or an arm squeeze, and you're left standing there in the grocery store thinking, what the F just happened? There's a quote by Tony Robbins that says, "Where focus goes, energy flows." I'm going to say it one more time. Where focus goes, energy flows. I believe that to my core. Divorce is hard enough. Divorce Goals is a place where, instead of focusing on worst case scenarios, we focus on best case possibilities. Now, quick but important disclaimer: in no way, shape, or form am I saying Divorce Goals offers one-size-fits-all advice. It's not possible. Every divorce, your coworker's divorce, your neighbor's divorce, every single divorce and the circumstances that led up to the decision to get divorced is deeply personal. My hope, or really my goal, for Divorce Goals is to create a community, a place to find positive support, strategies, and real advice from people who've navigated their divorces and achieved their own personal divorce goals. I'm really glad you're here. So, okay, second disclaimer. I'm a one-person show. Now wait, before you hit stop, I promise I will have people here to interview. You will not be stuck listening to me all the time. I just mean I do not have an editor or someone handling my social media or the back office stuff. I was at a networking event earlier this week, and when it came time to introduce myself, I joked, by day, I'm a licensed health and life insurance broker. By night, I'm the host of the Divorce Goals podcast. I started this podcast 4 years ago. Just when I started to get the hang of it, COVID hit. Then I had a health scare that forced me to hang up my headphones and my microphone for a while. But I'm back. I'm healthy. Well, as healthy as you can be. I'm almost 52, post-menopause, thanks to a full hysterectomy. I know I'm oversharing, but it's an introduction. That was part of the health scare. I'll probably dive into that in a future episode, maybe one about advocating for your health. We'll see. If I ever joke about the watermelon, that's what I'm referring to. Anyway, all that being said, I do have a full-time job that I love. I think the healthcare system is overly complicated on purpose, and I get to help my clients navigate it so they can keep more of their hard-earned money while getting the care they need and deserve. So that being said, until I get back into the swing of editing, posting, and all the fun behind-the-scenes podcast stuff, my goal is to release new episodes on the first and third Thursday of each week. Eventually, I'd love to have weekly episodes, hopefully by April. Now, I do have one quick favor to ask. If you're ever on the Divorce Goals website or you're clicking a link on Instagram or Facebook and something doesn't work, will you please let me know? I'd really appreciate it. I try to check the links regularly, but every now and then I'll make an update and it has the unforeseen effect on one of the posts or the links and I don't catch it in time. So if you see one, I'm always grateful to hear from you. And speaking of help and asking for help and receiving help, that leads me to the advice I wanted to share today. When my ex and I divorced, our kids were 5 and 7. I wanted to do everything I could to protect and preserve their childhood. I still managed to volunteer in their classrooms, take care of the house, cook, clean, do laundry, help with homework, all the stuff the normal things you do as a parent with young kids. Fast forward, I've now been divorced for 12 years, and my kiddos are now almost 20 and 17. What I didn't realize until very recently was that somewhere deep in my parenting beliefs, I had equated doing everything for my kids with being a successful parent. Like, the more I could handle on my own, the better I must be doing. I love my kids, and on most days, I can happily say I like them too. But looking back over the past 12 years, I wish I'd asked for their help more. I wish I'd been more open about what it takes to run a household instead of quietly handling it all by myself. Yes, they had basic chores, but my brain was still stuck in that mode of, they're just kids. I've got this. It's my responsibility. At some point, though, I realized I needed to shift from protect and preserve mode to preparation mode. See, by being so busy trying to do everything on my own, trying to preserve their childhood, I wasn't preparing them for adulthood. I had unintentionally set up this dynamic where I was the default for everything, and honestly, I got really good at it. But there lies the problem. By constantly succeeding at doing everything on my own, I wasn't giving my kids the opportunity to step up and play an active, helpful role in our household. I'm really grateful that my kids and I have always had open communication. There's actually an old episode of Divorce Goals where I talk about why I don't use the term kid-free weekend. My kids shared why they didn't like that phrase, and I think that conversation set the groundwork for us to have honest talks, even when it's uncomfortable. So when I had this epiphany about my parenting, when I realized I'd been stuck in protection mode, I was relieved. I thought, okay, I get it now. I sat my kids down, ready to have this wonderful, heartfelt moment. And guess what? They did not jump up and down at the idea of helping more around the house. There was pushback. There was some eye rolling. And what should have been a calm, reasonable conversation turned into tears. Now, I want to be very clear. Not their tears, mine. I swear to you, the floodgates released and it felt like I was having a mini breakdown. Hey, poor kids. My poor kids. They didn't realize how hard it was for me to ask for help. They had no idea I was trying to let go of 12 years of parenting anchored in protecting and preserving their childhood. They didn't know how much stress, worry, and guilt I was carrying, wondering if being stuck in this mindset had actually done them a disservice. How could they know? I never told them. I never let on. So it wasn't a one and done conversation. It took several. The tears stopped. The kids still pushed back because, they're teenagers. It's their job. I think it's part of the job description. But we had some amazing discussions. Letting them step into more responsibility isn't punishment. Asking for help, including them in discussions, assigning real household responsibilities. These aren't signs of weakness or that I couldn't do it. These are signs of trust. They're ways of preparing them for adulthood, of building a stronger family bond, and laying the foundation for the amazing lives they'll create when they leave home. I promise shifting from protection mode to preparation mode isn't just good for the kids. It will be a game changer for you too. It genuinely has for me. And that right there is where we're going to wrap up for this return episode of Divorce Goals. I'm so glad you're here. I've got 4 months worth of interviews lined up. So please rest assured, you will not be stuck just listening to me ramble on. If you have an idea for an episode or you have a divorce goal success story you'd like to share, I would love to hear from you. I'll try to add a link to the show notes or comment section wherever possible. You can also find me on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Goals. And then the website is divorcegoalspodcast.com. I look forward to connecting with you. Have a great week. Thank you for being here, and I'm always here to help. Take care. Bye.